Hi, my name is Samantha Bashaw, and I'm here to talk about mandatory vaccinations and what we might be able to do to ease anti-vaxxers' worries. There might always be anti-vaxxers, just like there might always be anti-government groups. But what if some of these anti-vaxxers are just afraid? There are a lot of reasons to be afraid. What can we do to help ease those worries and help create trust in our government? Some ethical considerations around mandatory vaccinations. We're talking about autonomy, the right to self-determination, and the respect of individual rights to make informed decisions. Beneficence, preventing harm and creating practices and environments that help others achieve their maximum health potential. Individual liberty, the freedom for people to do what they want as long as they don't harm others or go against the law. Justice, treating people equally and without discrimination. Non-maleficence, often referred to as the no harm principle, that is inherent in professional standards, licensure, and codes of ethics. And utility. Bentham said that utility means that property in any object whereby it tends to produce benefits, advantage, pleasure, good, or happiness, or to prevent the happening of mischief, pain, evil, or unhappiness to the party whose interest is considered. If that party is the community in general, then the happiness of the community. Same for an individual. So for purpose of this project, I chose to discuss COVID vaccinations as an example. It is our most recent epidemic, and we have the most data on vaccinations. From USA Facts, we can see that about 20% of the population still has not received any doses of vaccinations, and about 30% are considered not fully vaccinated. And then these charts are also from the same page, which shows that our most affected groups are more vaccinated than the rest. Surprisingly, the younger you are, the less likely to be vaccinated. It looks like we have a lot more worries around childhood ages. That would be our parents. So let's talk about some side effects. They say that COVID has most of their side effects are minor and will go away within a few days. But what about those long-term ones? The adverse events. They say that those take about 6 weeks to show if they're going to happen. I suggest vaccine pre-testing to ease our anti-vaxxers' minds. 6 weeks to see it at the minimum to know if you're going to have long-term effects from the COVID vaccine. 6 weeks. So let's say about 3 months, 12 weeks would be a good amount of time to know if you're going to have an adverse reaction to the vaccination. That is a relatively short amount of time in the scheme of things. This meets our ethical considerations of autonomy and individual liberty, beneficence, and non-maleficence. So on both ends of the coin, we're covering our tracks, and this will give us an opportunity to build trust and ensure that everyone is properly informed. What benefits will this have for our public and community? It'll help reduce that 20% not vaccinated. We'll have less chances of outbreaks. We can gain trust from the public easier. We can prevent and reduce adverse health outcomes. We'll have higher chance of achieving community health. We'll be empowering our community with more choices. We'll be providing our community members with more personalized information on the vaccinations. And it's not a very long time. It's been 3 years since COVID, and we still have 20% not vaccinated. In the scheme of things, 3 months isn't very long to wait to see if you're going to have adverse events. There are some laws around mandatory vaccinations, but not in our Constitution. Our Constitution states that no state shall make or enforce any law which shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizens, nor deprive any persons of life, liberty, or property without due process, or deny any person equal protection. In Montana, the only rules around vaccinations for COVID that we really have is around child education and child care providers. There are some places like elderly care homes that will still require it, and some federal and state jobs. For the school regulations around education, parents can waive or fill out an affidavit to exempt their children for religious reasons, and that's it. However, this final one I have listed, Jacobson versus Massachusetts. In this case, they mandated vaccinations. And because of this case, the government can enforce mandatory vaccinations as long as they don't infringe on health, which has to be proven. There is not a lot of ways for people to prove within a reasonable amount of time that they're going to have adverse events. This is giving us a chance and giving our communities, our individuals, chances to prove that their health might be at risk. And I believe that is where we would put this as the vaccine pre-testing would be a way for people to prove that it could be detrimental to their health. And that's all I have. Here are my references. Thank you.